With us today, we have Major League Baseball player Mike Devereaux. Hi, Mike. How are you?
Good. How you doing, Amanda?
Doing great. So great to have
Perfect.
you here.
Thank
All
you. Great
right,
to be here.
let's get into it. The reason why you're
All right.
here, professional, amazing baseball player, uh, World Series champion, MVP. But
Wow.
first, I did some research on you a little bit. Um, but uh, But what I want to talk about is, so you grew up in Wyoming, yeah?
Jasper,
Tell,
Wyoming. Yes.
tell me a little bit about your childhood.
Well, I'm the youngest of four, but we're very close together. So I'm a year apart from my brother, 2 years from my other brother, and 3 years or 4 years from my sister. So all of us, except my oldest sister, was born and raised or born in Wyoming. We're all raised there and played all sports in high school and junior high. And my
Yeah,
father actually coached my baseball team from the time I was 8 years old up until when I was 16. So we were a baseball family,
right.
but it gets so cold in the winter, you can only play baseball 3 months out of the year. So got into basketball, football, and ran track. But a lot of people say Wyoming, what's up there? I knew nothing else. So I had a tremendous childhood.
Hmm.
Um, so it was fun growing up. I had a lot of friends that I still keep in contact with there, and I used to go back there regularly, but I haven't gone back there in the past few years.
Mm. So you said you had three brothers and one sister, right?
Two
Were
brothers
they?
and a sister.
Oh, sorry, two brothers and one. Were they into sports as well? They were all into sports. You're all into,
Yes,
or did they
my
play other
brothers and I
sports?
played baseball together
Uh-huh.
all through our lives. My sister played some softball, but she's more of a brainiac. She graduated from Harvard, so she
Oh
yeah.
wow,
So
nice.
so she was more into her studies. Even I mean, we weren't bad, but we weren't quite
Yeah.
there.
Well,
So
so your dad was pretty much was one of your coaches
yeah,
and monumental in your training, right? I mean, or what
yes,
were
pretty
there
much.
other coaches or other people that were influential
There
in
were other. Oh, growing up,
yeah,
there's
growing
other
up?
dads. There are other dads that were involved. My father, he was in the military. He was in the army before he
Hmm.
came to Wyoming. He ended up being grew up in East Texas and was
Hmm.
an electrical engineer. So he ended up getting a job in Wyoming. That's why we're out there. But him, along with some of the other dads that enjoyed the game, enjoyed us being in sports at all times, keeping
Yeah,
us all active. And that's exactly how we were as a
yeah.
family.
Now you're outfielder and you're amazing batter. I know that developing your stance is a very personal thing. I play softball, but I mean I'm not very good. I like to think
Come
that
on
I'm
now.
good. I don't know if the other players on my team think I'm very good, but I know that it is a very personal thing. What helped you develop your stance, or how did you develop your stance for batting?
Well, you're right. It is a very personal thing, and,
Mhm.
and it's hard to try to emulate anybody. So
Right.
yeah, yeah. So
I'm
you,
just
so
think,
you,
yeah. I just think
yeah.
really quick note is that I always, because I grew up watching Daryl Strawberry, and so I thought that
Uh,
that was how I was gonna. Oh no, it was awful, awful. That's probably why I'm
yes.
not very good right now.
He, he went through. Strawberry went through 1,000 stances before before the one that you see.
Yeah. So go on.
So, and we all have to do that. We got to figure out, the first thing you have to do is learn how to hit. And the best way, the best procedure, I guess, of getting your bat head to the ball. And that's why it's a personal thing. How do I have to stand? How do I have to think my middle aspect of the game of hitting the ball the best way? And so it changes. And as far as getting to the professional level,
Yeah.
it changes there too. So it's never a constant.
Yeah. So another thing I learned, we're both Sun Devils, ASU.
Really?
Yes, I went to ASU as
Nice.
well. Yes. So tell me a little bit about what the scouting was like back then, going to ASU.
Oh, well, hold on a second. I do not put that back. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Um, well, this is, I don't know how much time you have, but this is a long
I have all day for you. It's what you have. Schooling
Okay.
with your kids. I want to hear. This is the best stories. These are what people want to hear.
So we were pretty much a baseball family. So my father grew up in East Texas, like I said, and I remember we went to University of Texas at Austin, and I remember we climbed on the fence in center field. And it was the nicest baseball field I'd ever seen in my life. But Arizona State was baseball.
Yes.
So we all, grew up in Wyoming, never went to a baseball game at all, never went to a professional game at all. But we knew Arizona State was the baseball school. So when each of us turned 18, my father sent us to Arizona State's baseball camp. And we are going to go to Arizona State University to go to school to play ball. So my brother's 2 years older than me. When he was 18, he went to the camp. He went down to the camp and did okay, but he walked on to Arizona State. Got lost in the crowd. Ended up transferring to go to the University of Houston. Mm-hmm. My next brother, he went to the camp in Arizona, and he went to Arizona State. Got lost in the crowd and ended up going to a JC down there. Actually, he was there right before I got down there. So I turn 18, and I go to this camp. And I'm in this camp, and there's like 6 other JCs around, coaches and managers that are helping out with the camp. And one of the coaches, which was Jim Fry, who was the manager of Mesa Community, told me, and I was already enrolled at Arizona State. I was already enrolled at Arizona State because Arizona State. Yeah. He told me, he goes, don't get lost like your brothers. He goes, go to a JC where you won't get lost in the crowd, because we weren't getting scholarships. We were all walking on.
Right.
And he goes, you don't necessarily have to go to my JC, but don't get lost in the crowd, because he said, you're a diamond in the rough. I was like, okay. But if you go to Arizona State, you'll get lost. So school had started on a Monday. I was in a baseball tournament in Wyoming, and I decided that I'm going to transfer to Mesa Community, which I did. So I transferred to Mesa Community before I even started school. And so my other brother that was at Arizona State ended up transferring to Mesa Community also. So we were playing there together. And we ended up going to the national championship and took 3rd in the nation.
Wow, from a community school.
From a community college. So we went up to Grand Junction, Colorado, took 3rd in the country. And then my brother ended up going to Texas A&M. Mm-hmm. And I'm mad at Arizona State at this time. So now I'm a sophomore, and I'm like, I'm not going to Arizona State. They dogged my brothers. I'm not going there. Right. And I'm getting recruited from all these schools after my sophomore year. And then Arizona State called me and said, we'll give you a full ride. I'm like, I'm there. so that,
wow.
I'm never going to go to Arizona State. As soon as they offered me a full ride, I'm like, okay, I'm there.
Hey,
so
by the way,
State.
I took classes at Mesa Community College, and it's a great college. I have to tell you. Yeah, well, because I stayed summers, so I could graduate in 3 years. I stayed summers and took my summer classes in Mesa. So, hey.
Wow. So
yeah. We're buddies. Yeah. We're bonded now. So then you're in Arizona, and then tell me about what it was like when you were getting scouted from Arizona State.
Well, I was just about playing the game. That's what I was about. I was just about playing the game. It wasn't a situation where like, oh, I'm going to go pro. This is going to be my. I just loved the game of baseball, and I played. I loved it, and I played. And like I said, when Arizona State, when they gave me the opportunity to play there, and now I'm on scholarship, so they played guys that were on scholarship. Guys that walked on, they really didn't mess with that much. And, coming from a junior college, which most players did, come from junior college, so they have a little bit of experience coming in to a 4-year school, that gave me the opportunity to play. Right. So we had we had the best team in the country. I mean, by far. We didn't win it. But,
so it was an easy, people were going to be watching you. You already were in the spotlight from there.
Right? Yeah, I didn't realize it, but Barry Bonds was on the team, Charles Scott, who played, Tom Brown.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of guys. Wakamatsu was still in the game, was there. There's a lot of guys that played from there. So we were a pretty good team.
Now you're an outfielder. Did you always play outfield, or were there other positions that you played?
When I was in high school, I pretty much, everybody pitched. Right. So I pitched, my brothers pitched, all the other guys pitched. So I played the position of whoever was pitching. So the first baseman was pitching, I'd play first base. If the shortstop was pitching, I'd play shortstop. And I didn't catch very much, even though I did catch, but I didn't catch very much. My brother that's a year older than me was the catcher. That's why I went to school. But I played mainly the infield. And when I went to Mesa Community, when they asked me what position I wanted to play or the position I played, I just said straight up outfield. So I knew I wanted to be an outfielder. I didn't even consider wanting to play the infield. Right. I felt that I had some good speed, and I love running down balls, and I just love being in the outfield. Love playing in the grass.
Wow. Let me ask you one other thing. One last question about technique. Your throwing technique. Did your father teach you a lot about your throw, or did you develop that throughout your schooling and your?
I developed that throughout my schooling, and when I was at Mesa Community, there's a guy by the name of Paul Williams. He's about the same size as I was, and he could throw the ball, and it would just stay up. It was just constant on a line all the time, and I was like, how do you throw like that? Because it looked so easy the way he threw. And I actually had an issue with my arm. That was the problem with me. I could run, I could hit, I could field, but my arm was kind of shaky. And he gave me the best advice I had ever had when it came to the game of baseball, as far as making it to the big leagues. And he told me, he said, instead of holding the ball like this, hold the ball like this. Keep your fingers as close together as possible. And this thumb, don't hold the ball like this. Tuck the thumb under.
That is such good advice. I get caught on my thumb when I throw, and I end up throwing down then too. Yeah. And there's so much power if you put two instead of that way.
Right, because it slips out of your hands a little bit. So it's almost like kind of so this made the ball spin faster.
Yeah.
And with the ball spinning faster,
your daughter is showing us.
With the ball spinning faster, now it stays up longer. So now, and the scouts, that just turned the scouts on. From that point on, it turned the scouts on.
Wow. Thank you for the example in the back there. That's perfect. Yeah. I love it. That's great. Oh, I'm learning so much now. So next question I have for you is that you're kind of a journeyman in terms of the teams that you've played for. About what, five teams. You played twice for the Dodgers. In the beginning, it was your first team, and it was your last team. So I know that's memorable. Then we have the Orioles, who you played the longest, and then you have the Braves, which you won the 1995 World Series, and got the MVP as well during that year. Which team is most memorable to you?
Well, from living in Wyoming, I had never seen a big league game because Denver didn't have a team at the time. Seattle was way far away, but they didn't have a team. So San Francisco had a team, LA, or it'd have to go like to Kansas City. There's no place to play or to watch big league baseball. Mm-hmm. So after getting drafted by the Dodgers, my first big league game I'd ever seen in my life, I was playing right field for the Los Angeles Dodgers in Dodger Stadium. So that was the first game I'd ever seen. And as far as, the Dodgers who drafted me, and they brought me back at the end, Tommy Lasorda, Bleed Dodger Blue. I mean, that was a tremendous experience for me. As far as Roy Campanella being in spring training, as far as Davey Lopes, who actually ended up coaching for the Orioles also. And you had Sandy Koufax, Don Newcomb. There's so much history there that was incredible that I believe that I was blessed to the point of coming up with that organization. And then it came to a point to where they traded me to the Orioles when I was still young. and which gave me the opportunity to play. So they also, with that opportunity to learn from all these historic players, they also let me go to give me the opportunity to play in Baltimore, which we ended up being the youngest team in the entire league. So it gave me the opportunity to play. And so playing with Baltimore, I played there for 7 years. So I have a lot of my hearts in Baltimore. A lot of my hearts in Baltimore. 1989 season was the best season there, which was my rookie season. Best season as far as how the team did. Then I ended up going to, when I was a free agent, I ended up going to Chicago. And then
White Sox.
Season, White Sox, which was fun. That's why I had my best year hitting. I hit over 300. I hit right at 300 that year. And then I ended up going to Atlanta, and so won the World Series with Atlanta. But won the World Series with LA also in 1988.
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
so I was on that team in LA in '88 when we won the World Series.
Oh my goodness! See, that's yes.
Yeah,
I have that. I have you're there. That was your 87 to 88 year. So that by the end, that was by the end. Yeah.
Yes, I wasn't. I was an alternate, so I got to travel with the team to go to which was actually not bad at all. I mean, it was cold in New York. We played the Mets for the National League Championship Series, and so I just hung out at the bar at the hotel and watched the game.
Hey, Mike, you're still on the team. You're still a winner then.
Right.
What's Mike, didn't you and I meet your rookie year at the Baltimore Orioles, or had you been there a year?
I think it was right after my rookie year. I was right after my rookie year in Baltimore, because that's when I went on that Oriole cruise, and that's when we met.
Yeah.
That was like that was the winter. Was that the winter of '89?
'89, yeah, winter of '89.
Yeah, the winter of '89.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
What was the highlight of that cruise besides meeting the comedian on board? What was the
highlight of what now?
What was the highlight for you on that cruise besides meeting me?
Oh, besides meeting you? Let me see. I mean, that cruise was pretty fun. I mean,
so wait, it was an Oriole cruise?
It was an Oriole cruise. That's the first cruise I've ever been on. Yeah, there's probably 200 Oriole fans on that cruise.
Oh, I see. So it's for the fans to meet the Orioles, and so you go, okay, all right, okay. So you get paid to go on a cruise or something? That's great.
They brought like 5 players. There's an envelope on my chair one day, and it said, "You're invited. You and a friend invited to go on a cruise." I'm like, "Are you serious?" Because I'd never been on a cruise before. I'm like, "Really? Is this a joke?" So I said, "Yes, I'll go," not realizing what I was saying. Next thing I know, I was on this big ship, and met Kim on that ship.
Oh my gosh.
It was fun though. That cruise was fun.
Tell me one of your best stories while you're in the majors. Just one of the funniest or best stories that you have with the guys.
Well, oh my goodness. Which one?
I know there's so many.
There's so many. I'll tell you a good one. I'm not a risky one. All I know, one time, when I got to Baltimore, I knew the players. I knew some, like I said, I was excited to play baseball. So when I got the big leagues, I'm like, yeah, I'm in the big leagues, yes. But when I got traded to Baltimore, there was only one player I knew, which was Cal Ripken. And Cal, can I tell that story? I can't tell that story.
Okay.
But I'll tell you this one. But Cal, he's in the middle of his streak, as far as consecutive game streak. And I did my calculation on when he'd beat Lou Gehrig's streak, and it was in 7 years. So he'd have to play every day for 7 years. In the 7th season, he would break his record. And I knew after 6 seasons, I'd become a free agent. So I was like, I'm going to miss it. I won't be around. So 6 years went by, and in 1995 is when I was a free agent. That was a strike year too. Strike year is in 94. So 95, I was a free agent, and I went to Chicago. So I'm playing in Chicago, and I'm going to miss, like I said, I'm going to miss Cal breaking the streak. So the day Cal breaks the streak, we're playing in Arlington against the Rangers, and we had a rain out. So I was able to sit in my hotel room, drinking beer, and watch Cal break the record all by myself. And I thought that was pretty cool. And because Cal is, he's one of the greatest guys in the game. He really is. And I mean, he is. I mean,
I got a great Devereaux story.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Yeah. You invited me to Baltimore to come see you play, hang out with you, and it was probably one of the coolest days I've ever had because you let me come to the park and hang out. I met some ball girls. I got to see the batting practice. I got a chance to walk through the whole stadium. And then the game was great. I think you had a kick-ass game. Cal, everybody had a kick-ass game. And then after the game, you, me, Brady Anderson, and I forget the other player was in your Mercedes-Benz driving to a sports bar on the belt, listening to Snoop Dogg, and you were like singing Snoop Dogg driving like a $110. And I was just going, we got like several $1 million plus maybe about $100,000, counting me in this car. We doing a $110 down the belt.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Money, you need to drive a little slower, man. You need to bring it back to at least 80. You were doing like a $110 in your Mercedes, and we were just flying down the road. I'll never forget that.
That's Snoop Dogg's fault.
That's Snoop Dogg's fault. Blame on the Snoop.
Oh man, I do remember that. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah. Well, speaking of what you don't do anymore, you're now retired, right?
Yes.
So, yes. Well, from the majors, but tell me, so what are you, you're coaching now, right? What are you doing now that you're retired?
I coached for the past 11 years.
Okay.
So I took a little time off of baseball altogether, did some real estate, and after that I did a little private lessons and private training. Then I got back into the game. So I coached for the Orioles for 2 years, and I coached for the Rockies for 7 years, and I coached for the Cincinnati Reds for 2 years. Mm-hmm. And last year was last year I coached. 2019 was last year. And you know what? That was fun. And I was at the minor league level, and my main objective was to get these guys to have the opportunity to get the same feeling that I had as far as making it to the big leagues. And it's not easy to get. It's not. Everything has to go right. You have to be lucky. You have to be good. You have to be. When I say lucky, I mean in things like not getting hurt, and playing. You have to learn how to play the game right. And my thrill out of coaching is watching these guys play. So even now today, I'm not doing any coaching right now, but when I watch baseball, there's certain teams I like to watch, and mainly it's the Colorado Rockies because I was there for 7 years. And being there for 7 years, there's guys in the big leagues that are playing that I saw that I was coaching when they're 18, 19 years old.
Oh, wow.
And it's really fun. And they see my kids growing up, and they play with the kids and all that. Now you see them in the big leagues, and it's really fun. But with COVID and all that, I did some coaching at this place called IMG Academy that's out here. That's a boarding school, boarding high school. Mm-hmm. But COVID shut it down, and it's back up and running now. But I decided just to hang out with my kids and coach them. I coach one of my kids, and she plays tennis. So.
Oh, nice.
Sometimes I would go outside and he would help me.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom was a tennis player, and I grew up with a racket in my hand, but I wasn't as into tennis, because she would force me. So, but I really enjoy it now. I really do. In terms of, speaking of COVID, question, the sun is coming, hitting me here.
What's that?
The sun on my, trying to get away from the sun. I'm dodging it throughout the whole, So I might get up. That's a nice racket.
Yes.
Nice. She's all ready. What? How long have you been playing tennis for?
Few
A
few
about
weeks?
A month. About
okay.
A month. Started. I mean, with COVID, it shut everything down. So
I'm just gonna close this a little bit.
So my friend started to play tennis, and then my mom asked me if I wanted to play, so I started playing.
We told her she could play. She could play as soon as it was available because of COVID.
Well, okay. So speaking of COVID, I mean, if you were playing today, would you consider playing, or would you opt out for this season?
Wow, that's a tough call. That's really a tough call, and I don't know. I'd have to, it'd be a family decision with the wife, and just to figure it out from that aspect of it.
Yeah.
And just seeing how the rules and regulations are as far as how they're going to handle it. They seem to be doing pretty good. They really do. I'm glad there's at least, and this might be selfish, something for me to watch. Okay. Something for me to watch. And so that's the selfish part of it. But I love the game to death. So that's a tough call. I'd have to be there to make that decision.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You're like, okay, so I guess, when you're transitioning from one career to the next, or even in retirement, you start to miss things and you start to not miss things. What would be maybe a couple things that you miss about playing?
The camaraderie. No doubt about it. I mean, when that baseball family is something that is very, very special. I mean, we used to hang out at the clubhouse after the games for hours and hours. And I remember at one point in my career, I probably about my fourth or fifth season in the big leagues, there was probably, I might even say sixth season. There's probably I checked it out. There's at least one person on every single big league team that somewhere along the line I played with on the same team. And that's crazy because that's where the camaraderie is. And you get that because that comes with playing either in high school or playing in, not in big leagues, but in high school. Well, not in high school because I was in Wyoming. College, winter ball, minor leagues, or big leagues. There's at least one person on every big league team that somewhere along the line of my career, we're on the same team. And so even nowadays, a few years ago, I did an autograph session in Connecticut. This is probably like 8 or 9 years ago. And Vida Blue was there. I don't know if you know Vida Blue. But Vida Blue was a pitcher for the A's when I was a kid. And the A's won the World Series like 3 years in a row in the early 70s. And he was at the tournament. And we sat down, drank Sambuca and beer and talked. And I was like, this would have never happened. And we, the camaraderie, because he was a ball player, I was a ball player. So It was just like, that's it. And here's the other one.
Yeah.
But
wait, what's your name? What's his name?
Michael.
Here, come here,
I begged him to get off of the game.
Hi, nice to meet you. And you say it's another Michael?
Yeah, that's me. He's a ball player. Oh,
yeah. What position do you like to play?
First outfield, first center field, and pitcher.
Oh, wow. So you got a lot of options.
He's a lefty.
Hey, lefties have rights, So first base then, right? Yeah.
They're both lefties. All three boys are.
I was going to say what's interesting is I'm left-handed, but everything I did in sports is right-handed.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why. Wow. Maybe that's why I wasn't such a good thrower. I should have learned to throw with my left hand instead of my right.
Geez.
So one of the things you'll miss is camaraderie, which definitely I can definitely understand that. Do you still talk to any of your teammates?
I do. Every once in a while we have the reunions. We had a 30-year reunion in 2019 of my rookie year in Baltimore in 1989. And that rookie year, we came within one game of making the playoffs. That's when we had the youngest team in the league. And that's when I got traded in spring training to Baltimore. And that was probably that was a fun year. And that's pretty much all Baltimore, the enthusiasts of baseball, Baltimore, all the fans talk about still to this day is that season 1989. And so we had the 30th anniversary of that last year. They brought everybody up to the stadium, and we were on the field. Went through. It was just so fun. And then in 2015, we had the 25th or 20th anniversary of the World Series in Atlanta. So everybody got back together then, and we have golf tournaments. We have the Alumni Association with the MLB, where we all get together and we do camps, free camps for all the kids all over the country, and so all the players get together then. So yeah, we communicate all the time. I mean, that's where the camaraderie is still there. We all keep in contact, even guys you've never met before. You know, once they really, oh yeah, I remember. You know their names, so instant friends.
Yeah. So then, what are a couple things that you're not gonna miss, or what things don't you miss about playing in the majors?
I don't miss those nasty split finger fastballs. No.
Oh yeah.
What am I not gonna miss about this game? I mean, even now when I coached, I'm not going to miss being away from the family.
Yeah, traveling.
Like I just stopped coaching now, and so majority of the summer, I didn't have the family around. They come up after school and things like that, and then that's tough. You know, didn't get to see them grow up, and but I don't have to worry about that now. So that's one of the things that I don't miss.
Yeah, the traveling schedule is probably really hard on families.
Schedule,
yeah. Man. Well, is Kimbrough still here or no? I think he's on mute. I don't know if he knows he's on mute or not. But I wasn't sure if he would. Yeah.
Am I wrong for drinking my beer?
No, not at all. Not at all. Oh. Please drink. And you know what? We can edit any of you drinking out if you don't want us putting the drink in.
No, we're gonna keep the beer drinking in.
Oh, now he's there. He came back just for that. Don't worry, I'll do the editing.
I'm not ashamed of my beer drinking.
Yeah, we put a few back in our day, huh, Mike?
Oh, did we?
Go ahead, Kimbrough. Tell me another story about you and Mike throwing one back.
Well, I think
Mike's trying to beat you on the storytelling right now.
We had a good time on that cruise. I mean, we met out of nowhere on that cruise. Out of nowhere we met.
But Mike, wasn't the AVP on that same cruise as well?
What's that?
The professional volleyball cruise was the same cruise that you were on?
No.
Do you remember that?
Unfortunately not, no.
Maybe it was the week before you or the week after you.
Yeah.
All that
I would have remembered the professional volleyball group.
Yeah, no, that was a fun week for me. I thought you were on that week because they had a AVP volleyball demonstration at one of the beaches, and so they're like, "Oh, come on, Kimbrough, why don't you come and play with us?" They thought, that I probably couldn't play, wasn't an athlete, and I was like, they don't know I played like Division III basketball and I could slam dunk, so I could play a little volleyball. And I was getting up there, I was smashing. They're like, "Bro, where'd that come from?" We didn't know comedians were athletes.
Oh yeah.
I think one of the funnest times I had when you came to New York and played the Yankees, which was a big rivals. It was always like you guys in the playoffs, and that time the Yankees were really just kind of cleaning it up, and if there was any threat for the Yankees going to the World Series, they had to get by Mike Devereaux on the Orioles. And I remember you came up to New York for a game, you gave me tickets, and you were playing right field that game. And I mean, so I thought, okay, the ticket you set me out was behind home plate with the wives and the families and all the thing. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go walk all the way around to like the outfield seats and see if I could like, you know, get your attention to let you know that I was like at the game. I mean, there were hundreds of people heckling you like crazy. You didn't flinch. You didn't budge. I'm yelling everything. I'm like, damn, Mike. And I'm like, shut up, man. That's my boy down there. I'm trying to get his attention. He's like, fuck you, fuck L'Oreal. You know, New York fans, you know.
Oh,
like, hey,
they said some bad things.
I mean, they were yelling everything in the book at you, and you were just like, you didn't even flinch. You didn't even turn, even look. And you couldn't pick my voice out of the crowd because so many people was yelling. I thought you would be able to be like, I'm yelling, Kimbrough. I mean, and you didn't even hear Kimbrough.
That's actually go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say that's actually brings me a really good point in terms of things that you're not going to miss. Is I'm from Philadelphia. How was it at the City of Brotherly Love? Because we're hardcore sports fans. We're pretty nasty sometimes.
I didn't play that much in Philly because I wasn't that much in the National League.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't play that much. I did play there, but as a rookie, but not enough to really. But New York, but I love that. I love that. I love when they come down on you like that. I love when there's enough fans because if they're not going to come down on you if you're not. I mean, you got to live up to that, you know.
Right.
And they said some things in New York that were like laughable. But like sometimes you get them back sometimes. And I remember, I don't know if I should say this, but anyway, I remember one time. This guy,
say it.
This guy, this is in batting practice. It's hard to say things during the game because this guy's screaming on me in batting practice. And he had his girlfriend with him. And she was cute too. So I walked up and he's just all over me. And I walked up to her and I'm like, I know you want to be with me. I know you do. And I'm just talking straight to her. And everybody, because this batting practice, I'm walking right up. I'm like, he's not even there. I just blocked him off, and I just started throwing my game to his girlfriend hard. And she was like, and started smiling and laughing, and it just tore him to pieces. I go, anytime, I'll be there for you. And I just threw this down on her, and he was like, what in the world? Don't come to me, talking to me, when you're with your girlfriend. You better be with your boys. Because I'm gonna go to her. I'm not gonna go, I'm gonna go to her. I'm gonna go to her. I'm not dogging her out. I'll never dog them out. I'll never do that. I'll talk them up.
That's the same strategy I do with hecklers. Like if a guy is with a date and he's heckling me trying to show off, I'll do the same thing. And I'll talk to his girl. I'm like, what's a hot looking thing like you do with a dipshit like that?
Yeah.
You're right. Well, that leads me to my next question, though. Do you ever stare at girls from the field, from the stands? Do you ever? I mean, do you really? I always wonder. Do ball players actually see that closely?
We see who we want to see.
Okay. I always wonder that. When you're in the stands.
It's amazing how. And I don't want to be, giving away secrets here or anything like that. But it's amazing how a ball player can go third deck, five seats in, and I see her.
Right.
And how quick it can be. But I mean, I wasn't married when I played, so my wife is not here, so I can say that. But I wasn't married when I played. So I had, I wasn't doing anything wrong by talking to the girls. But
I got a question for you, Mike, real quick. A lot of ball players and a whole lot of sports are superstitious. And my question is, were you a superstitious baseball player? And I did notice that you had a pre-at-bat routine where how you walked out, where you stood on the warm-up on the batter's box and on deck, you would rest the bat between your legs while you played with your gloves and then, adjust your hat. But what I noticed is you did the exact same thing every time at bat. Was that kind of like your superstitious thing, or was that was just a subconscious way of getting set up for your at bat, and you just didn't know? You repeated things, or what was that?
It was more subconscious. I didn't want to get too into mentally trying to do things that way, as far as preparing myself to get in the box or whatever, whether it's fixing my gloves a certain way or whatever. I didn't want to get too deep into that, but I was superstitious in the fact where if I ate this meal and had 4 hits, I'm going to do it again the next day. So from that aspect of it, I mean, the game, it's a game of failure. You have to understand how to handle failure. You have to. So when things go good, you got to say, oh, this is why it went good. So you got to figure out a way why it went good. And that's where the superstition comes into it. As far as me being on deck and all that, I never had a routine that I thought through my head to go through. Whether I did something, I probably did the same thing. I know what you're talking about. I was sitting my bat there and fix my gloves. I was probably concentrating on the pitcher and dealing with that. Walking up to the plate, you know, I had in my mind of confidence, and I wanted to definitely show that. Even if, you know, I wanted to show confidence. So I knew going up to the plate I was going to get a hit. Didn't always happen that way, unfortunately, but in my mind I felt that way.
What was one of the strangest, I guess, superstitions that you've seen while you're from other teammates or that you've heard of from other players? Were there any?
That's.
I'm making you think.
I know. I mean, I never dealt with guys that had like big time superstitions on the team. I know with Rick Sutcliffe, I mean, he's one of the greatest guys ever. I mean, this dude was great. But when the day he was pitching, you don't talk to him. Mm-hmm. You don't talk to him at all. There's another story about, speaking of Rick Sutcliffe. I'm building a house here in Florida, and not the house I'm in now, but this is in the early 90s. And my flight gets canceled to get back to Baltimore for the game. So I call up Roland Heeman, who's the general manager, and I said, Roland, my flight is canceled. And he goes, I don't care how you get here, but be here. I'm like, am I going to have to charter a flight? I go, what is it? I'm thinking in my mind, what does it take to charter a flight? I have no idea how to do. I'm like, what? And how much is that going to cost?
Great.
So I ended up catching a flight that got to Baltimore. It landed at 7 o'clock. Game started at 7:35. So we're usually at the ballpark around 2 or 3. Mm-hmm. So I'm flying coach, and I'm trying to think how the pilot knew. But anyway, the pilot asked everybody, I feel terrible about this. He asked everybody to stay seated because I was on the plane and I needed to get to the game by 7:30 because the game started at 7:35. So everybody stayed seated, and cop cars came up right next to the plane. I got off the plane, got in these cop cars, officers, patrol cars. They turned on their lights and hightailed me to the game.
Wow.
I get to the game at 7:30. Sutcliffe is pitching, and he has a malfunction, a costume malfunction. So he faked it, but I needed a little bit more time.
Right.
So the game started like 7 minutes late because something was wrong with his so-called zipper.
Right.
And,
smart.
Right. So I ended up playing the game and all that, and we ended up winning. And we had Kangaroo Court. And so I get fined in Kangaroo Court, and I get fined $50. $50, that's it. And Sutcliffe blew up. And you can't, when you're in Kangaroo Court, you can't, no swear words at all, no cussing. and he threw out, I don't know how many F-bombs. I mean, but it was all in fun. Okay, it was all in fun. He ended up owing like over $1,000.
Oh my gosh.
And he goes, I'm never coming to another bleeping batting practice the rest of my career if all I have to do is pay $50.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Oh, it was so funny.
So, but because technically, right, you have to be on that field before the game starts, or you cannot play. Correct? Or is that's
well, you have to be on the roster.
Okay.
You have to be on the roster.
Yeah.
So if you're on the roster, you can play. Dude, what are you doing?
Interesting. Yeah, I just know, for games that I've had, you got to be on, you have to be ready and suited up, have your cleats on and everything, or that ump would be like, they can't play.
No, the umpires the umpires don't even know who's suited or not. I mean, pitchers can still be in the clubhouse when the game. They don't monitor it like that.
Right, but if they start playing and you're up to bat, then it's like exactly. Okay,
but all right. You just have to be on. Before the game, the managers exchange lineups, and if your name's on the lineup, you can play.
Got it. Okay. All right. Wow, that's a great story.
That was the good old days.
Oh man!
Nowadays, these guys got it tough. Nowadays, with social media and all that, I don't know how I could do that today.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. Would you, would you be a big social media person? Would you? I mean, you got to watch everything.
I guess it's hard, kind of not to be, but you have to be careful with it. And these guys go through classes all the time to make sure that they're doing everything right. And the thing is, they can do everything right, but it can be somebody else that's filming them that ask questions that they're like, dude, get out of my way, man. I'm trying to do something. And then they put that on, online.
Right.
It's so difficult for these guys. I kind of feel sorry for them because they have to isolate themselves so much. After every single game, and I learned this from Cal Ripken. After every single game, I signed until nobody else wanted a signature. After every game, I did that. Cal did it. If Cal's doing it, I should do it too. I did after every game. And nowadays, they have tarps so the fans can't see the players, where their parking lot, where the cars are parked. Please, where the cars are parked, and that's to protect the players. And it's unfortunate. That's why. Blaze, come here. See my dog?
Yeah, let's see. I think.
Come here.
Oh my goodness, is he a chocolate lab?
He's a Rhodesian Ridgeback.
Oh my goodness, he's gorgeous.
Wait,
is he lighter? I can't know if is he lighter on the side? He's brown and beige.
Changes. Blaze, come here.
He's gorgeous.
Yeah, he's a pretty dog. He's weighs about 115 pounds. He just turned 3.
Oh my goodness. Have you always been a dog person? Well, you can be.
I'll always have a dog.
Yeah, I always thought I would have a dog.
I thought you a cat before.
I was gonna say I thought I'd always have a dog until I got a cat. It's a lot easier traveling, except when you're trying to do podcasts because cats love to walk by the screen and just be like, "Hey guys, I'm here too."
I'm here. They just chill out.
Yeah.
Amanda, you're my cat, and Mike, you're my dog.
There it is.
Hey, Michael, are you enjoying schooling from your dad? You paid him to say that.
It's tough. It's harder on us than it is on him, but they do very well. I mean, he understands when he gets on and off. He does real well. And Adi is doing a lot better.
Tomorrow we have a tournament.
Oh, really?
Kid pitch tournament.
This is first year in kid pitch.
Oh wow. Did you play Little League and like Sandlot, or what type of did you do that stuff?
I played Little League. I started when I was 8.
Oh, okay.
And I started with kid pitch. Now he started when he was like 4.
Yeah, so he's way ahead of you.
Off the tee, and then coach pitch, and then machine pitch. Now this is his first year of
Baseball.
Real baseball. So now the kids are pitching, but they can't lead off. And next year they can lead off. So,
wow. So you guys are able to do that with COVID, like you guys just started, right? Or what, I don't know what it's like in Florida now.
At first we couldn't be in the dugouts, but they've thrown that out a little bit. But we're outside, and the kids have tried their best to stay away, but they don't. So and we've had some kids go through it, and that they've had to be isolated for 14 days. But that's unfortunate. Just like the same way that's kind of going on with the NFL, and it's happening here too, when you have a kid that gets infected, and they have to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Right.
We've had 2 boys that've had to do that already, and
oh my goodness,
it's sad, but it's like these guys, they got to do something.
Yeah, I hear you. So in the NFL, so you watch football as well, I'm sure, right? Yeah. And they just had more players come down, get infected with COVID, and some talks are of shutting down the league completely for a moment. But what do? You have nothing to watch as a fan,
And even if they shut it down for a moment, they're going to end up with the same issue.
Up. Yeah.
So It's almost like, even with basketball, they kind of have some issues in the bubble down in Orlando, and they've come out of it. And baseball had their issues too. Everybody's going to have their issues.
Right.
Now it's a matter of, football's different, because if you have your quarterback like Cam
Newton.
Whereas New England, your quarterback comes out, that's a whole different issue. Now, if your pitcher goes out, that's only one game. And obviously, your first, whatever. I mean, you can have good guys go out, but there's still a chance you can keep playing the game. Mm-hmm. Football's a little different.
Right.
But basketball's easy to be in the bubble. It's hard for football and baseball to have that situation.
Yeah. Who do you think is going to win the World Series this year?
Well, what time is it? I know. Rays are playing right now, and get the Yankees. So you got the Yankees or the Rays and Houston. Mm-hmm. So my son's an Astros fan. He loves Altuve, and the unfortunate situation about all the cheating last year, that hurt him, and that sucked. I mean, I felt badly about that, because he loves Houston, and all that went down. But he still likes them, which is cool. I said, yeah, that's good. There's nothing wrong. Keep liking them. And so he wants them. I want the Rays to go. So Rays against Houston will be good. Yankees have won, 26, 27. So they're good.
I know the Dodgers are still hoping.
Well, the Dodgers haven't won since I was there.
So, I mean,
I say the same thing about the Braves. They haven't won since I've been there. So get me back there, maybe.
Yeah, I think they need to take you back.
Right. That's how they should be superstitious.
Right. So. Well, hey, Kimbrough, if you want to do any questions, I know that I don't want to.
You guys are doing great, man. I'm sitting back enjoying this. This is beautiful.
Okay. I want to get all the hard hitting, no pun intended, questions in. Yeah. Man, Mike, I want to thank you so much for being with us and spending the time. Great stories. Come back again and again and again. All these stories. I wanna hear more, especially of your time with Kimbrough. Some crazy times. But no, I learned so much, and man, I wish you the best. God bless. Be safe. Be healthy, and you have a beautiful family and a beautiful dog.
Thank you, Amanda. Hey, I had a great time. I appreciate that. All of this, and again, I apologize, and hey, let's do it again.
Let's do it again. Go Sun Devils.
Absolutely, Sun Devils.
Hi, Herb. All right, take care, Mike.
All right, guys, take care.
Support for this program was provided through the City of Los Angeles Department of Cultural Affairs Arts Development Fee Program.